Tom Capizzi Sr., and I started the company 48 years ago, and it's come to be an incredible company, especially thanks to my son, who you just met with. Actually, when I started the business, June 1976, Tom was in high school by then, I believe. So basically it was me doing jobs, picking up Tom from school sometimes to help me do something that I couldn't do alone, 30-foot gutter or something like that. Yeah, that's how we kind of started. I had worked for other companies, so I actually looked at some other companies, maybe didn't like the way they were run. Company I worked for in New Hampshire, a couple of them in Connecticut. So I always had this idea, I'm going to start my own company and do things differently. I had some experience because my father was a builder, and I worked with him just mostly on our own house. And I liked doing what he was doing. He was an unbelievable carpenter. Back in the old days, when you built a house, you built it from the ground up. You did everything. You dug the foundation, you poured the foundation. So I learned a little bit from him, but not that long of a time. And then, just went out working for different companies, doing always in the remodeling industry. And except for I worked for a piping crew for a while too, which taught me how to run heavy machinery and how things like that are done. I don't know, the desire was there. It's like I'm not really like a person who is really business-minded in that way. I am more like the guy who loves to swing the hammer and create things and do things, and I still do that. But I just had the opportunity to buy this house. My former father-in-law had the property, and we moved from Connecticut to Cape Cod, where my father-in-law was already in business, in real estate business. This place, the old house, was abandoned. It was kind of a mess, so we had to do some fixing up. And then, that gave me a place, a base to start and do what I had always thought about doing, using the experience I had to do work for different people, different things that they wanted done, and that I could do it. So he did. He went to California. Yep. And I had to beg him to come back, and thank God he did come back, because I was over my head. The company had gotten big enough, with just me basically doing practically everything, selling, not doing as much as the work. By that time, when I begged him to come back, it was like I had some other people working for me. So, when he came back, I basically started him ground level. He went out and, trained with one of our guys for mostly siding, trim, different things like that. And then he just kept working his way up until he was ready to burst into sales, because he's unbelievable, something I never did. He took any kind of course you can think of, how to run a construction company successfully. And, the marketing part, every part of it. For years he did that, and while he was selling, and he sold the most of anybody that ever worked for me when he started selling. Yep, it was unbelievable. And so we just kind of went from there. And I was going to say that one of the questions you had about what's the most, I forgot what you called it, something really that happened in the company that was really special. I forgot what you named it, but basically, when Tom went from doing everything I'm saying when he started to actually running the company, that was the change, the biggest change in this company, because he was at a whole different level of professionality of how to run a business, how to run a company, than I ever was. I started out swinging the hammer. I did watch other people, work for other companies, glean some of the stuff that I thought that they were doing was good, and a lot of the stuff I wasn't going to do. But when Tom took over in 2002, he basically took this business, this company, to another level that was just unbelievable. And it's kept growing like that since then. Oh yeah, yeah, now that he has a sister company in California, yeah, sure. But in the beginning, you know, it was just this company that he came back for, and I thank God that he did at that time because, well, he had learned more too. Because when he left here, well, it was after high school. Yeah, took his 65 GTO and drove out to California. So he learned a lot out there though. He worked for a construction company, so they were actually building things, building garages and additions and stuff like that. So he learned experience while he was actually doing some of that work. So he had that under his belt when he came back. And then, like I said, I started him at the bottom, you know. You got to work your way up. Show me what you can do. And then he just kept going, you know. Well, the team we have now is unbelievable. The greatest team we've ever had. So, you know, through years, it wasn't always like that. Yeah, a lot of times I would pull guys out of the field who were actually doing the work and try to get them to do maybe some management or some selling. So, you know, they weren't really experienced in it, not really trained in it. So, you know, instead of me sending them off to seminars and stuff to learn more about selling, they did have the construction experience, but the part about actually, you know, relating to a customer that a person you're trying to sell something to. So you know, it took years, yeah. But then again, in 2002, when Tom took over the company, he had done, like I said, much studying, many seminars, many classes. So from there, the level of people that we brought on, you know, it went really sky high in professionality and, you know, good people. And, you know, and Tom spends a lot of time, still does, training some of these people. You know, sure, interviewing them and then see what they've done before and what we want from them. And yeah, so it just, you know, just kept happening. Well, there's the old cliche that the customer's always right. Well, you know, I kind of learned that working for these other companies when, you know, maybe we didn't treat the customers like they were always right, or so, you know, I saw the things that I did not want, you know, my company to be involved in. So, and I still think the same way, and I've, you know, we've always done that. Customer's always right. Do everything you can for the customer, and it always pays off, you know. So it's that kind of do what you say, do when you say you're going to do it, you know. So I always try to instill that. I have all the time for everybody, and when we see somebody not acting in that way, you know, we have to sit them down, let them understand, even though they know our core values. Because, you know, I mean, we all work hard. We've always worked hard, but that's not necessarily enough. You know, you have to give something more to the customer, and it's like, you know, just doing the right thing at the right time, and yeah, doing everything you said you would do, and when you said you would do it. Core values, that's what I've tried to instill in all the people that have ever worked for me. Yeah, and Tom picked right up on that, and he's like, again, just like everything else, he's taken everything to another level that I never did, because, you know, I didn't go to all those seminars. I didn't do all that studying about how to run, you know, a remodeling business, a construction company. So, well, under Tom's leadership, it's going to just keep going, just like everything else in his life. What he's doing with the sister company in California, what he does, you know, in his professional car racing. It's like, that's how he does everything. To the max and the most professional any person could do it. So we're going to keep growing, I'm sure. We have been growing constantly. In the beginning, when, you know, we were doing, I mean, many years ago, 30 years ago maybe, every year we would double the volume of sales that we were doing. And I thought that was pretty incredible. But you know, when you're only doubling a couple of 100,000, that only comes out to 400,000. But it kept, I expect that the way the economy is right now, you know, and the workforce that we have and the people that we have, it'll keep growing. And like I said, with Tom at the helm, it'll continue to be, you know, the most professional company on the Cape, I believe. Oh, what I do? Oh, well, show you a mountain bike. I ride my Harley when I can, when I have time, and I have the place in Vermont. I've got like 107 acres, a lot of forest, and just another 2 log cabins, and just, you know, I hunt, I fish, and yeah, I have a lot of friends on the Cape that I got a '68 Camaro too, so I go to the car shows. Yeah, just went to the Father's Day car show. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff that I love, and yeah. Yeah, when it's missing out there, I just had brought it in the back so we could do that slab. I eat lunch every day at the Fresh Market right there and here in Katuitt. People are always asking, where's the truck? Or they'll be asking Gary or anybody else. It's like, yeah. So that rig, the first one I got was very simple. I just traded a guy a boat for it. It's like, I had a boat, he wanted to get rid of the truck, kind of an even swap, and that's a 1944 Chevy. Yeah, so, and I did that truck over, not a complete restoration, but a couple of times, and still, you know, because it sat out there more of the time. In the beginning, I drove it a little bit, did a parade down here like I was going to do this year, the 4th of July parade, and yeah, giving people rides in it sometimes. But then, you know, it wouldn't run anymore. Didn't have time to just really, yeah. So that's why I looked for that truck, and was glad I found it. It was the right color, Capizzi green we call it. So, yeah, and this one actually drives. It's got a 350 Chevy motor in it, 350 turbo tranny. But the other truck was all original, actually, the motor. Of course, that 350 is not the original in that truck, but at least I can drive it now. So I've been taking it to car shows, parades, yeah. Tom Capizzi Sr. started this company 48 years ago in 1976. Well, something I don't always talk about, but I'm a very spiritual person. So I believe, I'm thanking all our customers for sure. And we're doing everything we can for them. And nowadays, I truly believe, one day at a time I take it, and I truly believe, this is different, but the Holy Spirit is with me. Holy Spirit is with us, keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, keeping us going in the right direction. So, and yeah, I can't, again, not thank all our customers. We do the best we can for them every day, and sometimes that's not easy, and sometimes some people may not appreciate it, but we stay right on keeping them happy. So, we do the surveys and everything, so we want to see where they're at with the company. If there's any problems, the questions will lead that to what we need to do next to be the best company that they ever got to do anything for them.